Welcome to the Iron Society podcast. We are here to remind you that you are the hero of your story and that you can fix your marriage, your body, your mind, and your life. We aren't here to help you decorate your comfort zone. We are here to evict you from it so you can finally level up and win in ways you've always wanted but never have. Your awakening is here. Welcome to the Iron Society. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Iron Society podcast. I'm Cody Chapman.
Nick Milligan.
Nick Milligan. You know, I just realized something. It's a little more echoey in here because
Slightly.
I took down that one little thing in here.
That one little thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to buy some, those little squares that eat up all the sound.
Sound
Little
absorption.
sound bugs in there that eat up all the sound.
That'd be good.
So today we're going to be going over something that we just got done talking about marriage.
Yep.
We're gonna start talking about some fitness stuff here today.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about how to become a fit, jacked dad.
I like it.
Right? Instead of a fat, lazy dad.
One's better
Right.
than the other.
Yeah, and if you're kind of fit, this will help you get more fit. If you're not fit at all, it'll make you get fit, right? I mean,
100%.
I went from being freaking 35% plus body fat to where I am now. So, I mean, let's go.
Come on.
And you went from being a little, I was going to...
Pudgy roly poly. What are you
I
looking
wouldn't quite
for?
go pudgy roly poly. Just like, it's like, all right, cool. It looks like he used to be an athlete, but had one too many PBRs.
Accurate.
And then now it's like, nope, yeah, don't screw with him.
I believe as I was a child and got a little heavy set in my 10 to 11, Dad called me Ponzone.
Ponzone?
That was his nickname for me. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
I grew out of that quickly, luckily, did the whole athlete thing.
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
Sweet. Well, hey, here's what we're gonna do. First and foremost, I'm gonna tell you this at the beginning and at the end of the podcast. We're gonna be breaking down literally like the biggest struggles, how to do with time, consistency, how much to eat, and how to actually train. But I want to give you guys something for free if you want to take advantage of it. Okay. If you come over to my Instagram and you DM me the word podcast, I'll just have a quick chat with you, kind of see what program would fit you the best. And I have a good half dozen programs that I've used in the Iron Society before for guys, all this.
Yep.
I'll literally just email you the PDF for free.
So generous.
So, it's like we could talk about this stuff. It's like, dude, okay, if you're going to sign up for the Brotherhood, cool, you'll get custom everything. But if you just need a program, like just come over to Instagram at Cody Chapman, DM me the word podcast, and I'll give you a free freaking program.
Boom.
Okay.
Too easy.
And these are programs I have literally gotten men to lose 40, 50, 60 plus pounds and get jacked.
Yep.
And you can just have it for free. Okay.
Nice.
So do that. So all men struggle with fitness at some level, right? And even I would say the guys that are fit, they have to continue to make it a priority or you become not fit. It's a very use it or lose it type thing.
Yep.
And wherever you are on your journey, I think everyone has struggled with the things that we're going to talk about and cover. I know I sure have. I know you have. Sure. The reason I was able to write these down so easily is because I'm like, what was the hardest thing for me when I was way overweight?
Yeah.
And what did I have to overcome to not be that way anymore?
Yep.
And these are the 4 areas, right?
Got some good perspective on it.
Yeah, I've walked this, and I've walked a lot of other guys through it for almost 20 years now. So it's like, and everyone has these same exact things that they struggle with. The first one is time, right? You don't have a lot of time. You might not feel like you have any time. Your time is very limited, right? Your
Don't
time,
know how to prioritize it well.
don't know how to prioritize it well, any of those things.
Yep.
And today we're going to talk about time. Then we're going to talk about the second one, which is consistency, which time and consistency are very, very closely tied. But I think in general, the fitness conversation, there are different things that you can do to grow in consistency that have nothing to do with management of time or duration that you could spend in the gym. The third thing is what and how much to eat. I mean, you go on the internet and you're pretty much just, you have to stop breathing. Don't drink water. Don't eat vegetables. Don't eat meat. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat this. Don't eat.
No dairy, no gluten, no
nothing.
Yeah.
You're going to, if you
What
want to
is
be
acceptable,
if
Cody?
you want to be truly fit, you'll die in 14 days because you're not going to consume any fluids or food at all.
Right,
So we're going to talk about that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to train. Consider, because how you train is very dependent on how much time you have and how consistent you can be.
And the goals that you have.
Yes.
Right? Like there's different methods and methodology out there for depending on what goal you're trying to achieve.
Yes. And I'll tell you that I am extremely qualified to have this conversation. I've been a trainer for 20 years. My dad was a bodybuilder when I was growing up. I have trained college athletes. I have trained high school athletes. I have trained children. I have trained senior citizens.
Yep.
I have trained everybody in between. I've trained men that are over 400 pounds. I have trained guys that are 135 pounds and wanted to put on 30 pounds of muscle.
Yep.
I have trained guys that work out 6-7 days a week. I have trained people that only can work 2-3 days a week. Right. So when it comes to the gamut of stuff, I just want to say everything that I will mention in this podcast, there is no bro science behind this. This is what is scientifically proven and what have I seen efficaciously produce results in the past 20 years with men.
Nice.
That's so this trust me, you can trust all this stuff.
Yes, sir.
So first and foremost, time. I mean, everybody, you have to dedicate time to the gym. You have to, or at least lifting weights in some form or fashion with resistance training or other training. Fitness is something you have to dedicate time to. Now, a lot of people with schedules or amount of time they can spend in the gym, a lot of the time domain stuff can get tricky with guys. And first and foremost, like you just have to prioritize it, like you said, right? You have to prioritize it. Otherwise, you will find other things to fill the time with that you could be putting into your health and fitness. End of story.
If you haven't scheduled it, if you haven't made a plan, you're going to be tossed around in the sea of life, right?
Yep.
This is going to pop up. This is going to pop up, and you're just going to go with the flow, right? You're going to do this one day and then not do it another day. And all of a sudden, that whole time thing is affected along with consistency and your results.
Yeah. So if it matters to you, you will make time. And that is the first thing. If it matters, you will make time. If you're not making time for it, just be honest with yourself. It doesn't really matter to you. Like, don't say it matters to me, but I can't find the time.
Yeah.
No, because if it does matter, then make a decision that reflects that value.
Yep.
Right. So that's the first thing. If it matters, make time for it.
Yep.
And it's difficult. You have to move things around. You have to make sacrifices. But at the end of the day, if it's important to you for health, fitness, longevity, energy, mental clarity, all of that, you will make the time for it.
And it should be, right? We should be in our best capable selves, best capable version of ourselves, so we can show up as the man, the husband, the father that our family deserves and needs.
Yes. And I'll say this, don't be a should head.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be a should head. Meaning, and what I mean by that,
We're going to bleep that one out.
Yeah. Don't be a should head. Meaning, don't be the guy that's like, I know I should, but, and you've been shitting on yourself for like 5+ years.
That's too good.
Seriously.
I'm stealing that.
Like, for real. You've been shitting on yourself for years or decades, and you've become a shithead.
That's good.
Don't be a shithead.
Don't be a shithead.
Just, man, make time for it.
I foresee all of our children walking around saying that here real soon.
Don't be a shithead. Don't be a shithead. In church, nonetheless.
I'm not cussing.
I'm not cussing. My dad said it on my daddy's podcast. Okay, so if it matters, you'll make time. Second, I like, listen, something is better than nothing.
Sure.
Okay. I'll tell you like my schedule currently in this season of life for me, right? And it's very similar to yours. Like this morning, for example, got to the gym at 7 a.m., did a 4-mile run. It was like we were running like a 10-mile pace because it was an aerobic day. Went home, ate. A few hours later, we were right back in the gym doing legs.
Yep.
Right.
Lunchtime.
Because I'm hybrid training right now. You're transitioning to hybrid training because it's just like you want to be around awesomeness. So you're just like, I better do it.
The model makes sense to me too. Yes.
Yeah.
For longevity's sake.
Yeah. And then we lifted for probably 75 minutes. So today in total, we spent 2 hours training.
Yep.
Right. And that is not one, I would not recommend that for everybody.
It's not common.
Amongst athletes, it's common, right?
Sure.
But 37, 42-year-old, 48-year-old Joe from Texas, like you're not going to be going to train for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. But no matter how much time you have, even if you have, I will say literally 5 to 7 minutes, whether it is at home or at a gym or at a park or anywhere, something is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
Because compounding interest still applies to the area of health and fitness.
Yeah.
If you got 10 minutes a day of training 7 days a week, you're training for an hour and 10 minutes. And that's better than you shitting on yourself and not training at all.
Yep.
Right? You beat, like, even somebody that trains 10 minutes a day is going to beat somebody who's sitting on the couch shitting on themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, just that little dopamine hit too, right? Like instead of all the crappy ones that people get with all the other things that are distracting them in life, right?
Yeah.
Man, and that's where I feel like a lot of people could find a lot more time is
Sure.
saying no to a lot of the things that really aren't benefiting them. In fact, they're honest, they're probably hurting them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So something is better than nothing. I will talk later about in training programs, some options that you have to train at a lower frequency or a lower time duration, because it's totally possible to make progress working out very, very little. The last one is microdosed movement. I'm sure most people would probably understand the term microdosing. I mean, that is more a reference to like microdosing, like certain drugs that are popular, like different things for cognitive benefits or therapy, whatever.
Yeah.
But microdosing movement is also really, really good. And what I mean by that is one of the things I prescribe to a lot of people is 10-minute walks during the day.
Yeah.
People that don't walk a lot, they have a desk job.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, just go on 10-minute walks.
Sure.
Like one in the morning, one after lunch, and one after dinner. And if you microdosed it in little chunks throughout the day, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you look at your day, I walked for 30 minutes today. This is great. I trained a guy one time who literally, he was so big, he couldn't run. He didn't want to lift weights. And so I said, cool, go walk for 30, 45 minutes a day. And he did, and he lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
Like it adds up over time.
Yep.
So microdose movement. I bought a jump rope the other week to, like, when I feel like I just want to go do something, I'll go jump rope for like 5 minutes.
Sure.
Right? It just gets my blood moving, wakes me up a little bit. It's a little bit more microdosed movement. So just try to plug it into different parts of your day. That's a great way to utilize time.
I like it. Lots of good calisthenic movements, body weight movements that you could throw in for stuff like that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all free, by the way.
All free.
Free 99.
Yeah. So microdose movement, that'll really help you with time. And then the last one when it comes to time is making it more convenient. And what I mean by that is, one, if you have the finances and the space, and by space, all you need is a place to maybe store some dumbbells on the ground, start acquiring home gym equipment.
Yeah.
You can go on Craigslist, Facebook, all those places. Start with one pair of dumbbells. I mean, one of the programs that I've written that I've had more men go through and transform their bodies quite literally only uses one pair of 20-pound dumbbells.
For sure.
That is it. And guys lose 40 pounds in 40 days with that program.
Odds are, when the whole world shut down and everybody was buying dumbbells and they went through the roof and whatnot, like through that time period, I bet most guys listening have a set of dumbbells in their house.
Most people do.
They're probably in the corner or buried in the garage somewhere at this point because, life's quote unquote resumed back to normal. If that's a thing.
Yeah.
But they've got some dumbbells that just need to be out and being used.
Yeah. You either have these laying around or you could get them for really cheap.
Yep.
The second one to make it more convenient is find a gym in your town that is literally on the route that you would travel to or from work.
Sure.
They actually, I first read this, it was literally in like Men's Health, like 20 years ago. They did a study with people with their level of consistency at the gym. And the people who had the gym like on the road or just off the road that they traveled from and to work were like 80% more compliant with going to the gym regularly.
Interesting.
Because it was just super easy.
Yeah.
Right. It's one thing I don't like about essentially I work from home, so I don't really need to take a route anywhere. But in order to get to the gym, I got to drive 15 minutes.
Sure.
Right? Which is a pretty average drive, I would say, to get to a gym. Most people can get to the gym in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
In most places. I mean, we don't have a ton here, but even here,
just a few options all within 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just Google your work and your home and then like find the route in between and then Google gym and just look for the gyms that are close to off that road and get a membership to one of them.
Yep.
It helps you so much because you don't have to go out of your way to get to the gym.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, it will save you on time. The other one I would say is getting a gym that is as close as humanly possible to your work so that you could, on a lunch break, like a 45-minute or an hour, if you're 5 minutes away, you jet over there, get a 30-minute workout in, jet back, you're 45 minutes in, and you were able to get a 30-minute workout in.
Sure.
If you're within really close distance.
Yeah.
So lots of ways to minimize and mitigate the time issue.
Yeah. I mean, that one's a cheat code, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because most people have a decent lunch break that they could eat at their desk or while they're doing something out throughout the rest of their work day and go put some time in for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So that's time. Those ones right there will solve 99% of the issues,
sure.
right? If it matters to you, you're going to make time. Something's better than nothing. Microdose it, and then also make it more convenient. It's like super, super easy.
Check.
So consistency. Good old consistency.
Some of what you were just talking about kind of overlaps a little bit, right? Like the consistency part, having that gym on the route, on the way, like you're driving past it. It's the old like out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yes.
If you're passing it every day, man, like how much more does that help?
Yep.
Or if the dumbbells were actually out and in your bedroom or your garage or wherever, you're walking past them every day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there they are. All right, hey, got to get to it.
Yep.
Here we go. Instead of being buried somewhere or, the gym's so far off the beaten track.
You just never see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to consistency, the first one is build fitness into your life rhythm and routine, right? Build it in. Mm-hmm. One of the hardest things that people have to deal with when they start a fitness journey of any kind is you're trying to fit it in as an accessory as instead of just a part of your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like don't accessorize your life with fitness, make it a part of your life.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is like my kids know every single day, like what time I am literally going to walk out the front door and drive to the gym.
Yep.
They know exactly when it happens.
Yep.
And it happens every day. Mm-hmm. They don't have to guess. They don't even have to, they just know. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by making it a part of your life. Mm-hmm. Figure out whether it's in the middle of the day, the end of the day, or the beginning of the day. It's just a part of what you do.
Yeah.
Like on my way home, I stop at the gym and I lift weights for 30 minutes. It's just what I do.
Yep.
It's become a part of your rhythm and routine.
Habits and routines are crucial, right? Like
Yeah.
we are those people that we like consistency in it creates a safe mentality for us, right? Like it's predictable. I know what's coming next. It's less stress that way.
Yep.
Man, if you can just make that as, like I like how you're saying that, not just to this accessory that we throw in every once in a while. And I think accessory, like adding something to your vehicle or something like that. Like while it's not the main function that gets you from A to B, it makes it better.
Yes.
Right. Now, do I use my fog lights every day, especially during the day? No.
Yeah.
But it does help when I do actually use them.
Yeah.
But it's not so crucial that I need those all the time. Now, if you're making it actually a part of your life, like I need this to be like my transmission or my motor, or at least the tires or something that I depend on every day to get me from A to B.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between accessorizing and having the luxury of and viewing it like that.
Yeah.
And then actually needing this.
Yes.
You need this. And once you make that mental flip, that switch in your head and go, okay, no, this isn't something I need every once in a while. This is requirement for me to have a healthy, successful, long life. All of a sudden now it's like, no. We need to have those tires and they need to be rotated and they need to be used every day.
Yeah. Yeah. When it becomes, and at the beginning, if you're not used to including this, it will be an accessory at first. It will be something you just toss in and that's okay. But don't stay there where it's an accessory, right? Train smart, train effectively, like we're going to tell you to in a minute. And from there, like it becomes more of a main staple of your life, which it should be. The second thing is when it comes to consistency, holidays, trips, and vacations, you need to stay consistent on your training and stay you have to have consistency there. It is the number one thing that I see that throws people off for an extended period of time. An extended period of time.
Yeah.
They go on a vacation. It's like, and what I've seen is guys just throw all their normal stuff out of the freaking window.
Yep.
And they just they just go off the rails, like for some reason.
They revert back to like their college days or something, right? Like your nutrition goes down the whole, you're drinking way more than you typically do, or maybe you never do. But hey, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
We've talked about vacation mode, right? Like just all your standards go out the window.
Yeah.
Why? Where does that come from?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's at the end of the day, what it proves is that you truly haven't made it a part of your lifestyle. That's what it proves.
Yes.
Is that you at some level you keep it as an accessory and you don't truly see it as something that gives you, it empowers you.
It's a foundational piece.
Yes.
Right? Like that's part of who you are and how you show up.
Yeah.
And if you're going to show up consistently throughout time, throughout the year, throughout the month, and be effective consistently, you've got to be able to have a standard.
Yes.
And to hold that standard and to show up every day knowing that standard needs to be met. And when you throw them out the window, good things don't happen.
Yeah.
It's usually bad. It's usually regret after that vacation or that trip is up or whatever. And again, even if you're just like say there's no gym at the hotel you got. Hey man, time for some push-ups.
Or go run.
Go
Go run for 30 minutes.
Go for a jog. I mean, you can still be intentional with whatever you've got to work with.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the thing you have to realize when it comes to consistency is consistency builds momentum. And momentum is very hard to build at the beginning, but incredibly easy to sustain once it has critical mass. When you lose your consistency, AKA momentum, on a vacation, on a holiday, on a trip, what you're doing is you're not just taking that consistency, kind of tossing it out the window.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up to have to work harder when it's done to get back into that rhythm.
You're pushing it up a hill again instead of down the hill.
Yeah. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, this is just, as Nick Bear says, like this is forward thinking and backward planning. You have to be able to make a decision today and then the next day for your future self on a trip like that. I know I'm going to Hawaii for a week, for example.
Yeah.
When I get back from Hawaii, is my future self going to thank me for the decisions I'm making over the next 7 days? Or is my future self going to kick myself in the balls and say, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're better than this.
We just had this with one of the guys in the Iron Society, in the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
He knew that Mother's Day was happening, right? He's got a calendar. He knows what day it is. And he knows traditionally all the family comes over and they all bring all the baked goods, all the sweets, all the good things. And he's been killing it on his nutrition program. Oh. He has been dialed day after day, week after week. And he was like, man, I'm really nervous about this day coming up. I'm like, why? Why? He's like, well, this is what typically happens. It's like, that's your choice. You can plan accordingly. If it's predictable, it's preventable. Yeah. And you can come in with a plan, or you can just willy-nilly it and shove your cake hole full. Yeah. That's fine, I guess, if that's, but you're going to lose the momentum you've created. And so what did he do? He must have come in a plan, because I saw his macros. Yeah. At the end of the day, he was dialed yet again. So in my head, he either came in with a plan, or he was just disciplined in the moment and didn't, overeat.
I'll tell you exactly what it was.
What you got?
And this is people get a little inside look to the Iron Society, because we just rolled out levels in the Iron Society where you could level up. You actually, a new member isn't even level 1, they're level 0. And profile pictures in our community are no longer your own picture. Yeah. You get one that we give you that has a number on it that says what level you're at. So new members are just a black square. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth, all the way up to earning the Iron Shield, right? He is very, very close to leveling up to 2 different levels very soon. But he needs like another week of like perfect macros, essentially, right? Sure. And I saw his post, and so I texted him. I was like, hey, how close are you to leveling up? And he's like, I just need to get this many more days in a row. And I was like, cool. Don't blow it. on Sunday
come
because
Mother's Day,
if you do,
you're starting all over.
Yeah, he'd have to work for another month to get to the next
Sure.
level.
Sure.
And then another, at least 3 or 4 weeks to get to the next. And to him, leveling up was more important than just throwing it all out the door.
Yeah.
So and we just rolled that out to everyone listening. We just rolled that out recently in the Iron Society. And so for me personally, to see like somebody be motivated of like, I got to get to the next level. I was like, it's working. It worked.
And what you're doing is you're incentivizing to a certain extent, right? And motivating. And motivation is good to an extent. Like we can't always rely on motivation because that's a feeling ultimately, and it's fleeting.
Yeah.
Now there's a time and place for it, and feelings are good, right? I'm not saying don't feel, but however, with all this that we're talking about between time, consistency, being calculated and how much you're eating and whatnot, and how you're going to train, that's all discipline.
Yeah.
It's all discipline. You are deciding what you're going to do day in and day out. You've made a plan. You're not going to make choices every day moving forward.
Yeah.
You've made the one choice today, and then you're going to go execute it moving forward.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
And this is where, just because we're on the topic of motivation, because there's, but motivation shit. People are like, always stay motivated, all this stuff, right? Let me break it down for you, everybody, real quick, psychologically, how this works, because this is all psychology. And if you understand it, you can leverage it to your advantage.
Sure.
Right? So basic psychology would say that all decisions that humans make are based on getting closer to pleasure or getting farther away from pain. That is where every single decision is made, right?
Sure.
You can go to anything and you can bring it back to pleasure or pain. The car you want, the job you want, the money you want to make, the food you want to eat, the clothes you want to wear, everything. Where you live, everything. You are trying to get away from some kind of pain or you are pursuing pleasure, right? Now, what comes out of the pursuit of getting away from pain or getting closer to pleasure, the thing that gets you to take the first step and the first few is motivation.
Sure.
You are motivated to get away from something that might hurt you or go toward something.
It gets you started.
It gets you started.
Direction.
Yes. And then from there, what happens is discipline and consistency take over because now you've experienced the pleasure or you have avoided the pain enough where I don't want that pain anymore or this pleasure is so good, I want to keep this.
Right.
And that's what builds ultimate consistency and discipline.
Yeah. Sustainability.
Yes.
Is what that discipline allows you to achieve.
Correct. Yes.
Sustain it.
And I will say you do need shots of motivation
Sure.
to keep you headed in the right direction when you could get a little squirrely. Like I just hired a new coach recently and he's having me look at my yearly goals 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening. And it's because to keep it top of mind, to keep us motivated and heading in the right direction of pursuing this pleasurable outcomes of hitting our goals. So we don't rely on motivation, but use it to your advantage.
Yes.
It is a psychological thing. If you use it to your advantage, oh my God, it's
a tool.
It's a tool.
Yep.
And if you learn how to manipulate it, you can become superhuman. The last thing is to help with consistency is turn it into a family thing. A lot of men that I've spoken to, they're like, the reason they're not into fitness is because their entire family's not into fitness. And so they become, when they start pursuing health and fitness, they become the black sheep, right? The guy that we've been talking about on the podcast that just had his wife come back, they burned the divorce papers, all that. One of the first things, and it was such a baller move by him, like leadership wise, he's like, hey, one of the things I've changed about my life since you haven't been living with me is I go to the gym every day. And he said, you want to go with me? She's like, absolutely. I can literally see a physical change in you. I'd love to go with you.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's not because a lot of guys, I just know they feel shame for spending time in the gym because they see it as selfish, which we've talked about how this is not selfish. It's one of the most sacrificial things you could do by showing up as the best version of you. But if you make it a family thing, quite literally, my boys go to the gym with me. I see your family at the gym with you. It's not time away from your family. It's another thing you're doing with them.
Sure.
An opportunity for relationship, for lessons, for teaching, discipleship, all that stuff.
Yep.
But when you turn it into a family thing, that unlocks a different level because then not only do you get all the benefits of it being something you do together, you also have built-in accountability.
Yeah.
Like there have been mornings that I've woken up and I have been seriously contemplating, like when kids wake up, I'm just going to tell them like, you know, I'm a little too beat up today.
Yeah.
Right. And Luke comes upstairs, Judah comes upstairs, Elijah comes upstairs. They start getting ready. Hey Dad, same time. We're leaving same time. And I'm like, yep, we are. Same time. We're leaving the same time, boys. And it's like, they didn't know I was contemplating not going to the gym, but just by them waking up at 6 a.m. to be like, get ready for the gym. I'm like, all right, they're going to wake up. Like I'm getting to the gym.
Yeah. They see Dad as superhuman, right?
Yeah.
Superman, bulletproof. Like there's never a doubt in their mind because they've seen you do it day in and day out.
Yep.
So even when you are feeling a little run down or not motivated to go or what have you, it's like, oh, well, geez, they're already expecting this to happen.
Yeah.
I might as well go. So yeah, I think that's why I've always much more preferred working out with someone.
Yeah.
Having a partner to go work out with, not only to be pushed while I'm there and be able to give that back, but also just the accountability of, all right, Cody's going to be there, so I'm getting up.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Like this morning, Adam, if you're listening to this, you freaking, I mean, a couple days last week, didn't show up on a Monday because of work. I got to go to work. I love you, Adam, but I swear to God, I'm calling you out in front of hundreds of people. And I can say that literally because we're getting hundreds of listens now on every one of these episodes. If you start flaking on me, bro, I swear I'm going to stick my foot so far up your butt, dude, and I'm going to break it off because
sometimes you got to wake up a little earlier if you got work, right?
I love you, Adam.
Do what you got to do sometimes.
See, this is where Adam can't escape us. And his wife, Amy, listens to this podcast too. So
Amy.
So right now she's probably laughing, and I'm going to get an Instagram message in a couple weeks when this episode comes out, and she's going to be like, yeah, good job calling him out. But Adam, you know I love you, and you know I will not leave you alone.
We've got him down from how many alarms? 5 or 7 or something?
Yeah, down to like
2 or 3 now. Like
I think it's 1 or 2.
There's progress.
Yeah,
he's getting it.
We're rolling.
He's getting there.
We're rolling. Hey, come on! You want to fly with eagles? Fly. Otherwise, you're gonna be on the Thanksgiving table, you turkey. Love you, Adam.
Don't be a shithead.
Don't be a shithead. Oh gosh. Okay, we're gonna hear about this one. Okay, so time, consistency. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Everyone's always like, "What do I eat? How much food do I eat?" All this. I'm gonna try to break this down as simply as possible. Okay. Now, if you there's 3 stages everybody wants to be in. I'll say 3. There really is 4, and I'll say the 4th. But if you're listening to this podcast trying to get advice, you are not in the 4th category. You either want to lose fat,
check,
maintain your current weight, or gain muscle. The 4th one is performance. Okay, like that's really where I am at right now. I'm trying to keep my performance as high as I can while slowly losing weight. Right now, I'm going to tell you these extremely simplified formulas. You could quite literally go on Google and Google like fat loss calculator or whatever. And out of there's 2 or 3 different formulas that everyone uses. All of those can pretty much be distilled down into exactly what I'm about to tell you. And this is what they are. If you want to lose fat, multiply your body weight times 10. And those are your starting calories. So if you weigh 250 pounds, your starting calories for fat loss are 2,500 calories. Okay? You guys got that? 2,500 body weight times 10 is for fat loss.
Check.
Now I'm going to tell you, after I tell you the rest of them, I'm going to tell you how to go about making sure without a coach, you stay on track. If you want to maintain your weight, you multiply your body weight times 14. Body weight times 14 will give you very, very close to your maintenance calories. If you want to gain muscle, body weight times 16. Those are your calories. So real quick, if you're a 250 pound man, you want to lose weight, your fat loss calories are 2,500 calories. If you want to maintain your weight, your calories are 3,500. If you want to gain muscle or gain weight, your calories are 4,000 calories.
Not to complicate things, but a clarifying question, perhaps. You say calories as a whole.
Yes.
I've heard calories are calories.
Yes.
When you're saying to maintain at 3,500 for a guy that weighs 250, does it matter what his protein versus his carbohydrate versus his fat levels are?
Yes. So I'll jump into this real quick. Okay. So the best way I could say it is calories determine how much you weigh. Macros determine what you will look like and perform like. Micronutrients determine how you feel. Okay. So calories will determine when you step on that scale, if that number is staying the same, going up or going down.
Check.
Calories. End of story. I don't care if you're eating 2,500 calories, if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating 2,500 calories of chocolate cake, you will lose weight.
Check.
Okay. Same thing the other way, right? You will gain or lose weight. Now, if you want to maintain as much muscle as you can as you are losing weight, now I'm talking fat loss, consume 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, even this number, depending on who you listen to, it can be 1.25, 0.85, whatever. Just 1 gram, however much you weigh.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
And adjust that every 10 pounds. Okay.
Check.
So if you're the guy that's 250 pounds, trying to lose weight, 2,500 calories, you're trying to go for 250 grams of protein. That happens to be 1,000 calories because each gram of protein has 4 calories in it.
Check.
Okay. And from there, honestly, for fat loss, like I have a guy right now, he's been following a program for 30 days. He's already down 10 pounds. Our buddy Josh, he just broke the 260s. He's at the 260s now.
Boom.
He's only tracking calories and protein. His fat and carbs does whatever the hell he wants with. Does not matter. Because when it comes to fat loss, if you control for calories and protein, you will achieve your goals. Okay. Now, just real quick to give you protein recommendations for maintenance and gain. If you want to maintain, I would say personally maintain that same gram of protein per pound of body weight.
1 gram.
1 gram.
Check.
If you want to gain weight and you want to be able to make sure you have enough amino acids in your blood to replenish to grow muscle, 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight.
Check.
Okay. We could get into the whole macro thing and all of that, but maybe we'll cover that in another episode because there's a lot more science involved with that as far as like, especially when you start getting into bulking, strength, and even where I'm at right now with performance, you have to leverage carbohydrates differently and lower dietary fats. But that gets into a world of, that's why people pay us thousands of dollars to be their coach to do that for them. Okay. So those are your calories for fat loss, maintenance, and gaining. Now, you have to track your food. Track it.
100%.
What gets measured gets improved. So the next thing you want to go do is find some kind of a food tracker. The most popular one that most people default to is one called MyFitnessPal.
Yep.
You can go get that. They have a free and paid version. There's another one called Chronometer. That one's really good. That one is more for nutritionists because it tracks vitamins, minerals a lot better than any of these other ones do. The one I prefer the most, my wife just switched to it. And when she did, she was like, oh my God, this is so much better. It's called Macros First. The user interface is great, all of that. You can go into these. It will auto give you calorie recommendations, but you can go in and customize it to the calculations that we just gave you.
And the beautiful part with Macros First specifically is they've got a barcode scanner, so it makes it stupid simple.
Yes.
On scanning in the barcodes of your foods and be able to get the values out like that.
Yeah. And then when it comes to tracking your food correctly, some people are like, I think this is a cup. I think this is 5 ounces, whatever. Buy a food scale off Amazon for $25. Or less.
Yeah.
I would say weigh meats in ounces. Everything else that you can measure in grams. It's going to be the most accurate. Measure everything. And you're like, measure everything I eat? Are you kidding me? Yes. It'll take, and I'll tell you this, I'll tell you from experience, it'll take you 21 days to get used to it. You will fail at it. You will mess it up, everything. After 3 weeks, it starts to become like second nature.
Yeah.
So don't overcomplicate it. If you want more detailed stuff on how to track, go on YouTube. It's free. There's millions of videos on there, or not millions, but probably thousands that teach you how to do this more in depth. We teach our clients how to do it on a more one-on-one basis, but weigh and measure your food. Like, it's super simple, and
Indeed. Literally
takes an extra 2.5, 3 minutes when you're making a meal.
It's like anything. If you're going to be specific about anything, if you're going to go after your goals, I don't know, balancing a checkbook. You don't just go, I spent about $16 over here and about $170 over here and I should have about $200. No, actually, you're short a little bit. So, like, no one balances a checkbook like that. Like, it matters. To get clear and calculated with it allows you to achieve the goals that you're actually that you set. With accuracy.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
It's important.
So the other thing I would tell you to track is track your weight every single day. Again, there are nutritionists that are like, if you like suffer from eating disorders and that kind of stuff, which I mean, isn't probably a ton of you. And if it is, listen, the weight on a scale it's a number, right? You don't walk around with that number on your chest all day. It's not your identity, right? But the reason I like people weighing daily is because then I can get a weekly average weight.
Yeah.
And what I prefer to track is weekly average weight and then watch it week after week and watch the average move. Mm-hmm. Because even you guys can't see it, but our buddy that lost 10 pounds in a month. So that's 2.5 pounds on average per week, on average.
Yep.
When I go into our app and I see his weight, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, it's just constantly up and down. When you aren't tracking your average weight every single day, you will go into a head spin. Like, I gained weight today, but I'm so hungry and da-da-da-da. And then you starve yourself a little more and you just start to go into all these bad habits.
Yeah.
Track your weight every day. And at the end of the week, get your average. And that's your average weekly weight. Mm-hmm. The next week, your average weekly weight should go down by 0.5 pound to 2 pounds. If it does, stay the course. If it stays the same, don't change a damn thing. Go another 2 weeks. If it still doesn't budge, reduce your calories by 200. And that's why I said earlier, these numbers I gave you, multiplying your body weight times 10, 14, or 16, those are starting numbers.
Okay.
Everybody has different amounts of muscle mass. Everyone has different metabolisms. Everyone has different total daily energy expenditures.
Yep.
But these are going to get you very close. And then you go for a few weeks and you start to make adjustments.
Yeah.
If you're not losing, take out another couple hundred.
Yeah.
Because over the term of 7 days, that's another 1,400 calories, which is almost 0.5 pound of fat. So this is a process. This is slow. This is losing fat specifically is different than losing weight. Sure. I could go lose weight by taking a fat deuce right now and taking a leak. Yep. I could go lose probably 1.5 pounds, right? That's weight. Mm-hmm. It's not fat, but the number on the scale says different, right? So this is where crash diets and all that, where you want to see your weight just go down every single day. You have to understand that's body weight, that's water weight. Yeah. That's the amount of food in your system. That's how hydrated you are. Did you have a little more sodium? Are you more stressed? Are you carrying more cortisol and inflammation?
Sure.
There's so many factors.
Yeah.
This is why we track average daily weight. Additionally, I would recommend for guys, get a measuring tape, like a Taylor's measuring tape. Mm-hmm. Measure your chest around your nipples, all the way around your back, around your belly, around your belly button, and that's it. And track that every single week, because there are some weeks you will look and be like, I didn't lose any weight this week.
Yeah.
Oh, but holy crap, I'm a 1/4 inch down on my chest and my stomach.
Yeah.
That's because you're slowly putting on muscle at that point and you're redefining the composition of your body.
Yeah.
So you still made progress.
And that's a common story, right? Like, we've had clients come to us and go, man, this isn't working. This just nothing I'm doing is working. I weigh the same that I always have weighed. I haven't lost any weight. It's like, dude, look at you. And what we often do is put a side-by-side up.
Yeah.
Here's what you look like when you came in. Here's what you look like a month later or 2 months later or whatever. And their eyes go, boom.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Like, dude, like, your clothes are fitting looser and all of a sudden
everything's tightened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, and that's the other thing, progress photos.
Yes. Take
a photo a week of yourself, and 4 weeks down the road, you start to get kind of sad or whatever. Put those pictures side by side and you're like, holy crap. Mm-hmm. I'm going through a metamorphosis right now.
It's not all about the number on the scale.
Correct.
It is a tool to measure by, but it is not the end all be all what's happening.
Yes.
Right? Your body reconforms to what it's doing.
Yeah.
If you're lifting weights and doing the exercises that we're talking about doing and getting after it, along with good nutrition, your body's going to start to change in different ways other than just lose weight.
Yeah.
You're going to add muscle. You're going to get more tone. You're going to get more fit looking.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And the other part you could track too is strength in the gym. Is your strength going up? Is it going down?
Yep.
Is your performance going up? I mean, for me, I've been within the same 1.5 2 pounds for the past 3.5 4 months, but my miles are getting faster. I can run farther. I can run faster at an aerobic heart pace, right? So my performance is increasing, which I really care about right now.
Yep.
So I'm making progress, and I'm getting stronger as well, which to a lot of people wouldn't make sense. It's like pretty soon I'll be running over 30 miles a week and weight training, but I'm getting stronger and faster.
Yep.
And a lot of people would be like, that's psychotic. I will say, I am on testosterone. Okay.
That helps.
Like, I'm on testosterone. I take 180 milligrams of testosterone a week. I have for a year and a half because my testosterone was that of a 5-year-old girl. Okay. So, and when I say that, I'm not lying. The doctor I went to literally said he's been practicing for 25 years. And he said, this is the lowest testosterone I've ever seen in a man your age. And I said, do I get a prize?
Yeah. What do I
What do I get? He's like, you get testosterone. I was like, woo.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that helps with my recovery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But still, I still have to work my ass off.
Yep.
Like stuff. You see me in the gym every day. I still work my ass off.
Yep.
And then, the last thing on as far as food and nutrition, like adjust as you go. Like look at your weekly numbers, take all the different data points into consideration and make adjustments.
Yeah. Get the whole picture.
Yes.
Change your perspective from just the scale or just this or just that. Get the whole picture and start making course adjustments to achieve your goal.
And I'll tell you this right now, if this sounds overwhelming to you, this is why people hire coaches for thousands of dollars because it is overwhelming and there is a lot that goes into it.
We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah. The questions that we ask every single week of all of our guys, there is a lot of questions in there that are about sleep and hydration and stress and all these things because it all plays a role. And what we can do is we know how to look at all of that and say, actually, we're not going to make any adjustments this week, but we do need to improve this one thing. It has nothing to do with food. And then all of a sudden the next week, hey, I lost 2 pounds.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I know you. Yeah, I know.
It's because your HRV went up because you quit drinking. Amazing.
Crazy, right? Okay. So last thing, how to train.
Boom.
This could, I could talk about this for hours.
This could be like a whole series.
No, yeah. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll break it down. But I mean, big picture. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, so much of this you can go Google or YouTube and just stick with something. Don't be a program hopper. That's what a lot of people do. They'll jump on a diet of some sort and a program, and because they don't turn into a bodybuilder in 2 or 3 weeks, they're like, program must suck. The nutrition must be flawed. It's like, dude, this is a game of months and years, not of days and weeks. So when it comes to training, it is often dictated by goal and time. Okay. So if you have a very limited amount of time, your training program should follow suit.
Yeah.
If you are trying to go after some kind of performance goal, your training should follow suit, right? Like I'm training to be a hybrid athlete. That's like what I consider myself now. So I want to go run a marathon, a 50 mile, 100 miler, and I want to go in the gym and bench 315 and yank 500 pounds off the floor.
Sure.
Right. Like I want to be strong and powerful, but also be able to run long and fast.
Go the distance.
That's my goal.
Yep.
That's not everybody's goal. It doesn't have to be. But training is often dictated by time and goal. Now, general results, I will say this, general results with any lifting program that you're on are always dictated by nutrition. I could take 3 different people, put them on one on a fat loss, one on a maintenance, and one on a gain, and then put them all on the exact same program, and they will achieve the outcome of gaining muscle, losing fat, and maintaining. And they're all on the same exact lifting protocol.
Check.
Because how you fuel your body determines what the outcome is, right? Now, as you start getting more specialized, that changes. But 99% of you don't have to worry about that. Now, a few different exercise plans that I would recommend. First of all, if you're short on time, I would highly recommend it's called the 5x5.
Yep.
There is literally a free app in the App Store for the 5x5 because all it does is you're doing bench, squat, deadlift, and shoulder press. That is it. And it rotates through 3 of those exercises a day. And you do 5 sets of 5 with like 60 to 90 seconds rest in between.
Sure.
You can get through an entire 5x5 workout, and you do that workout 3 to 4 times a week, maybe 5 if you want. And it rotates it for you. And you use progressive overload. You can get out of the gym in about 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're diligent.
Sure.
Okay. And that will make you strong. It will help you build muscle. And if you're in a fat loss phase, it'll keep you strong and retain as much muscle as you're losing weight.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic program. All you need access to is a barbell and some weights. That's it. So if you do want to build a home gym for that, I know a lot of guys that have transformed their bodies doing the 5x5 program at home.
Absolutely.
Okay. The second one is a split called push-pull legs. It's working 3 days a week. You can do more. It's the split we just changed to because of all of our running.
Yep.
One day you're doing push, which is going to be your chest, your shoulders, and triceps. The other day you're going to be doing pulls, which is like pulling, so biceps, back, pretty much. You can do some deadlift stuff in there if you want. And then legs, which is working out your legs.
Yep.
That's training 3 days a week, lifting 3 days a week. And push-pull, I will say push-pull workouts, in order to get the appropriate amount of volume, you'll typically be in the gym at least an hour.
Sure.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
The next one is a full body split. This is one we did for a good 6 months when I first moved here.
Great option.
That's working. You do one exercise per body part per day. So you'll go in and do one thing of legs on a Monday, one thing of chest, one thing of back, one thing of shoulders, one thing of chest or triceps, one thing of biceps. And you do that. You accumulate volume through the week.
Yeah.
Again, as a beginner, you can get out in 45 minutes if you're diligent.
Yep.
Super easy and gives you a great full body pump every single day.
Yep. You're not going to overexert anything. Like you've got a laborious job, right? You're, I don't know, a roofer or whatever, and you're all on the ladder all the time or whatever. You're not blowing out your legs on that one leg day, right?
Correct.
Like you're getting the volume over the week. So that's a nice option for guys that are working hard, especially out in the heat and so on and so
Absolutely.
forth.
Yeah. And each one of these programs has their benefits for different lifestyles. The 5x5 is the dude that just like, I just want to get in the gym, get it over with, and stay strong.
Sure.
It's like, there you go, right there.
Sure.
Right? Push, pull legs. I mean, that's somebody you could really focus on hypertrophy, so you have plenty of time to recover. You could do it with hybrid. A lot of hybrid athletes do push, pull legs. Full body split is it does really well for the people that are like, I don't really ever want to feel sore, right? The first week or two you might, but after that, you will never feel sore.
Yeah.
The next one is a body part split. We've done this before too. Where on Monday you do legs. Tuesday you do chest. Wednesday you do back. Thursday you do shoulders. Friday you do arms. And Saturday you have an optional full body.
Sure.
Right? That one is if you want, like if you really want to put on some size and you want to accumulate a ton of volume, a ton of fatigue, a lot of hypertrophy type of volume, man, a body part split, that'll crush.
It's a good winter option, I would argue.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last one that I put on here, I mean, I put in hybrid training because it's what I'm currently doing. I love hybrid. My guess is I will probably always do hybrid the rest of my life to some form or fashion. And because there's so many benefits to it. I will say, the average Joe Blow that wants to, like, you can do hybrid 30 minutes a day. You totally could. You could go,
Sure.
Do a push pull legs and limit it to where you're doing it only 30, 40 minutes and then go run for 30, 40 minutes on other days.
Sure.
You could totally do hybrid training like that. That's not how we're currently doing it, but that's just because
It's an option.
Yeah. That's just because, we're psychos. So we're psychos. But hybrid has to do with, being a very good, some kind of endurance athlete, whether that be rowing, swimming, running, triathlete, whatever, and a very serious strength athlete as well.
Yeah.
So, that's a great option. And if any of the Iron Society guys are listening to this, I'll just tell you, we'll know who listens to the podcast by who, hears this. You're switching to hybrid training next month.
It's coming.
So if you don't like running, you have no choice now. So you will all be hybrid athletes.
Which, make the argument real quick, long-term, why? Why is that the option? Why is that the choice?
So there's a lot of research behind it. First and foremost, a lot of let me break it down this way. As you age, there's two big things, two factors you look at.
That's what I'm at.
You look at lifespan and you look at health span. Right? Lifespan is how many years you live, and health span is the quality of life that you maintain over those years, right? Modern medicine has made it so that lifespan in general can be extended, but instead of prolonging life, they're delaying death, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And because it's like if you're spending the last 10 years of your life on chemo or this or that or
assisted living,
whatever, yes, you have duration of life, but your quality of life is so incredibly low.
Yeah.
Right. So what hybrid training really does is it's a workout modality or training methodology that says we want the most lifespan with the highest health span as well. Because when it comes to lifespan and health span, there are two factors that all the research point to. One of them for lifespan and health span is maintaining as much muscle mass on your body as possible for your whole life, right? So as much as you can keep muscle on your body, it's great. Now, the other side of that is VO2 max. The only way you increase your VO2 max is aerobic training. The only way, right? You will not increase your VO2 max by going in and doing 5 sets of 12 curls. You won't do it.
Nope.
So the hypothesis basically is with the hybrid training model, you are going to be increasing your VO2 max and your aerobic capacity, as well as keeping your strength high and as much muscle on your body as possible through your life. So having both of those modalities working for you, you are putting yourself in the best possible situation for high health span and lifespan over the duration of your life. That's hybrid training.
Which is why I'm choosing it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's 100% why I'm choosing it, because I don't want to be the 90-year-old who's stuck in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Because I can't get off the toilet myself or what have you, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, what world do I want to live in? Do I want to live in a world where I need assistance and I can't function on my own? Or do I want to be able to be, and I've seen them. I love seeing them. It gives me so much hope and enjoyment. Like 90, 100 plus guys out like tending to their garden and feeding their chickens and like building stuff in their shop still and still getting after it with their grandkids, like, you know, taking them fishing and doing all the things and like being able to be in control of themselves and their lives ultimately, right? Like, that's what I want. And I think that's what every man truly wants. If you really,
absolutely.
Now, is he prioritizing it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why we're trying to spread the message. Like all this stuff, yes, it can get complex, but it is simple to start.
Yes.
It is simple to start and become consistent and have a trajectory that allows you to learn and grow as you go to where you can get to the point where, you know, whether that's through coaching or a guide, what have you, be able to be self-sufficient in your ability to train and extend your life, your quality of life, most importantly.
I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons I want to do it. The other reason has nothing to do with that. I want to be the badass dude that everyone's like, dude, Cody goes in the gym and will outwork everybody, and then he'll go outside and he'll outrun your ass.
Run everybody.
He like
sitting at 200 plus.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Cody, he'll bench 315 and deadlift 5 and go in and like is a savage.
Yeah.
And did you hear? He ran 50 miles this weekend. That's selfishly, I just want people to be like, this guy's it's the term I told Steph months ago. I'm like, dude, as I keep getting older, I just want people to be like, Chapman's a goddamn unit. He's a unit. Yeah. Like, there ain't nothing that boy can't do.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And then all while having 6 kids, run a business, like all this stuff. It's like,
yeah,
there's nothing this guy can't do.
Absolutely.
So,
men, especially the men of God, should be capable men.
100%.
In every arena of life.
Yeah.
Right? And that translates into you first and foremost need to be able to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And be the best version that you can be so you can show up in all the rest of the areas of your life, be able to dominate, be able to provide, be able to just crush goals, be able to exceed the standard, exceed the norm, right? Yeah. And the culture's currently defining the norm for so many. And the norm is just, you know, do your thing 9 to 5 and come home and sit on the couch and have a few and, you know, don't really engage, don't really this and that. And all of a sudden, you know, we've got this, you start to look around and go, oh, maybe that's why America is the way it is right now.
Yeah.
A bunch of soft men because times have been good.
Yeah.
Like, let's actually make things hard again.
Yeah.
For a season, right? Like let's get after it and make a life a challenge and then rise to meet that challenge.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and here's the deal: life will be a challenge either way.
It's yes.
Right.
What challenge do you want to face?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's like, do you want to? Because dude, it's like, I'm 38. You're 42, right? 43. Okay. So
This is something I have, because fitness has always been a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And at every different stage of my life, people always say one thing. And I just keep giving them the big middle finger with my life. Because when I was in my teens, everyone's like, just wait till you get to your late 20s and 30s.
Right.
And then I kept training and kept staying healthy. And I get to my late 20s and early 30s. Just wait till your mid 30s. Get to my mid 30s, and they're all, on meds and their backs or whatever, They're like, just wait till you get to your late 30s. And I'm now in my late 30s, and they're like, just wait till you get to your 40s. And I'm like, you guys keep saying this, and I'm just finding out you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you're completely wrong, because you've destroyed yourself. I've prioritized this. And does it mean that I don't wake up with like some, oh man, that's sore, oh man, that hurts? Doesn't mean that doesn't happen. But like this whole, it's everyone's social media, like, oh, you wake up at 35 and you can't tell if you actually were injured or slept wrong on your pillow. I'm like, no, I wake up and I'm like, cool. Like, I have the energy literally 3 minutes out of bed to jump around and dance and deliver my coffee to my wife.
Sure.
Right. And you guys can go message her on Instagram at Stephanie Chapman. Ask her if I actually do that. And it's a real thing. I'm weird like that, I suppose.
A quirk, perhaps.
A quirk, perhaps. Quirky. But like,
they've destroyed themselves, or they've neglected themselves, to put it, I would think, more accurately.
Yeah. Well, they've destroyed by neglect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, and the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago or today. And that goes with fitness. The best time to stay fit and healthy was start this journey 20 years ago. The next best time is you get your ass moving right now.
Yep.
Like,
not
that's
tomorrow. Today.
Yes. Like, after this podcast, just go do 50 push-ups. And
Don't be a shithead.
Yeah. And if you're like, I can only do 5, you're like, shoot, Cody was right. I should have listened to him.
Yep.
But anyways, last thing I'll say again, if you message me on Instagram, the word podcast, I will give you a free program, like a battle-tested program that I have had clients go through.
They'd be a fool not to do that.
Oh,
at least just see.
Yeah.
Whether they use it or not, at least just see what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I dare you to try it.
Yeah.
Like, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You got up and got your blood flowing and got some oxygen in your lungs and like got a bit of a workout in. Like, I guarantee you're going to feel great afterwards.
Absolutely.
The sense of accomplishment alone.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Do it.
So anyways, go on Instagram, message me the word podcast. I mean, hell, if you follow Nick, just go message Nick the word podcast, and we'll see. I mean, we pull from the same bank that I've made. So either one of us message us and we'll get it to you. But other than that, guys, I don't know if we'll continue talking about fitness like this in depth in the next few episodes. We haven't talked about that, but regardless, this episode was full of sauce for you guys.
Lots of sauce.
So if you follow it and you end up losing 40 pounds in the next like 3 months, please message me and be like, dude,
give us a shout out.
Episode number 40-9, man. Like, I just did it. And I'll be like, I'll celebrate you. I'll share your crap. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, I love people to do that.
Absolutely.
But anyways, love you guys. Want the best for you. We'll talk to you next week.
Out.